everybody. I am back with another story about spring. This time we'll be talking about part of a life cycle that happens when eggs are around. A lot of times in spring is when we see eggs because that's when the weather up north gets warmer, and a lot of animals start the beginning of their life cycle as either young animals like puppies or kittens, or they come from their eggs. So this story is called Dora's Eggs, and it's by Julie Sykes, and it's illustrated by Jane Chapman. While we read the story, I want you to make predictions. What do you think is going to happen to Dora's eggs in this story? We've also been talking about cause and effect. There are a couple things that happen in this story, and I want you to think about what caused those things to happen. This is what a chicken's egg nest is supposed to look like. And our flyleaf, of course, has pictures of eggs and a yellow background to look like hay. Dora's eggs. This structure is called a hen house or a chicken coop. Dora climbed out of the hen house and into the farmyard. "Who shall I visit first?" she wondered. "I know. I'll go and find Debbie Duck." Doris hopped over the fence and across the field until she reached the pond. "Hello, Debbie," she called. "Would you like to come see my eggs?" "I can't come now," quacked Debbie. "I'm teaching my babies how to swim." Dora stood watching the ducklings splashing around and learning how to paddle. Somehow, she felt a little bit less excited. "My eggs are nice," she thought, "but those fluffy ducklings are much nicer." Dora was just a little sad as she trotted over to the sty to visit Penny Pig. "Hello, Penny," she clucked. "Would you like to come see my eggs?" But Penny didn't hear. She was having too much fun, tumbling around with her wiggly piglets. Dora gave a little sigh. "My eggs are nice," she thought, "but those wriggly piglets are much nicer." Dora gave another little sigh as she climbed over the hill to find Sally's sheep. "Would you like to come see my eggs?" she asked Sally. "Not today," bleated Sally. "I'm too busy keeping an eye on my lambs." Dora looked at the lambs frolicking in the field. She felt rather glum. "My eggs are nice," she thought, "but those playful lambs are much nicer." Very sadly, Dora walked back to the farmyard. On her way, she bumped into Daisy Dog. "Hello, Daisy," clucked Dora. "Would you like to come see my eggs?" "Sorry, Dora," barked Daisy, wagging her tail. "I can't come now. I'm taking my puppies for a walk." Dora was beginning to feel quite miserable. "My eggs are nice," she thought, "but those cute puppies out for a walk are much nicer." In the farmyard, Dora stopped at the cowshed. She wished she felt happier. Perhaps Clarissa the cow would cheer her up. "Would you like to see my eggs?" she called. "Shh," murmured Clarissa softly, nodding at the straw. Snuggled up by her feet was a newborn calf, fast asleep. Dora wanted to cry. "My eggs are nice," she whispered, "but that little calf all snuggled up is much nicer." Where do you think Dora is now? Did you notice that there's straw and eggs? And this looks like the opening to her hen house. It looks like she's made it back to her nest. Dora walked back across the yard in the sunlight and climbed into the hen house. Her eggs were just as she had left them, smooth and brown and very still. "My eggs are nice," sighed Dora, fluffing out her feathers. "But everyone else's babies are much nicer." Crack! Dora jumped up in surprise. Look at Dora now. What do you think is happening? Why do you think that's happening? "Oh no!" cried Dora. "I've broken them." Tears began to roll down her face. They splashed onto the nest and over the cracked eggs. As each tear fell, the cracks grew wider and wider until suddenly up popped a fluffy head, and another, and another. Soon the nest was full of tiny chicks. "Cheep, cheep," the chicks peeped. "Cheep, cheep." Dora stopped crying and stared at her babies. Notice they're back at the chicken coop, and all of the babies have followed Dora out of the coop. But look who came to visit. It didn't matter that the eggs were broken. The new chicks were everything Dora had ever wanted. Proudly, she strutted out into the farmyard, and one by one, the chicks followed after her. All the animals stopped and looked. "Why, Dora," quacked Debbie, "they're as fluffy as my ducklings." "And wriggly as my piglets," oinked Penny Pig. "And they're as playful as my lambs," bawed Sally. "And you could take them for walks just like my puppies," barked Daisy. "But best of all," mooed Clarissa, "your chicks can snuggle up to you, just like my calf snuggles up to me." "Cluck," said Dora happily, agreeing with her friends. "My eggs were nice, but my chicks are much, much nicer. The end. What kind of story do you think this is? Is it realistic fiction? Is it nonfiction? What makes you think that? And what animal did Dora visit first? Can you remember all the animals in order? All of these questions are things that will help you think about the story and to be able to understand it better. Why do you think Dora cried? Why did she feel so sad when she saw all the other babies?